Okay, let's talk about Adobe. I mean, for decades, they've been the undisputed king of digital creativity, right? But what's happening right now is pretty wild. This software giant is navigating what you could call a perfect storm, a once in a generation leadership change that's happening at the exact same time as a massive seismic shift in its entire business strategy. So let's break down what this all means for one of tech's biggest players.
And it really all kicks off with this a huge announcement. After almost 2 decades running the show, the CEO who masterminded Adobe's whole transformation into a cloud subscription powerhouse, Shantanu Narayen, he's stepping down. Now, to really get the gravity of this, you have to understand this isn't just a simple leadership change. For Adobe, this is truly the end of an era.
And let's be real here, an 18-year tenure, that is practically an eternity in the tech world. So when you replace a leader with that kind of deep institutional memory, someone who's navigated massive market shifts before, it just introduces this huge amount of uncertainty, which leads to the big question, is Adobe making this move from a position of strength, or is it a position of weakness?
Well, while all that leadership news might sound a little bit alarming, Adobe's latest financial report card, it tells a totally different story. It really looks like they are operating from a position of serious strength. So let's dig into these Q1 numbers and see what's actually going on under the hood. First up, revenue. A massive $6.4 billion. But here's the real key takeaway. It isn't just the size of the number that's impressive. It's the fact that it solidly beat what Wall Street was expecting. And that is a very strong signal. And you know what? It is the exact same story with their earnings per share. It clocked in at $6.06. So again, they're not just meeting expectations, they're comfortably beating what all the analysts had predicted. This chart just lays it all out and really puts it in perspective. You can see on both key metrics, revenue and EPS, they didn't just meet expectations, they totally sailed right past them. Now, this strong performance gives them a crucial foundation, a lot of stability during a big leadership change. But honestly, these numbers are just the surface. Let's look at the real engine that's driving all of this.
So, what is behind these really strong numbers? Well, it's Adobe's massive all-in bet on artificial intelligence. And we're not just talking about adding a few cool AI features here and there. No, we're talking about a fundamental rewiring of the entire company. And here's a little peek at what that actually looks like. We're talking about a whole suite of new and totally revamped products. You've got Firefly for generative AI, Express for quick and easy design, and then Gen Studio, which is for enterprise-level content creation. This stuff is where all of their energy and all of their investment is going. So the big question is this big AI bet actually working? Well, this number offers a pretty compelling clue. 850 million monthly active users across their key platforms. That's not just a massive audience. It's a 17% jump from the previous year. It shows that people are literally flocking to these new AI tools in huge numbers. But are these users actually paying? Well, it sure looks like it. This chart here shows the annual recurring revenue, or ARR, from their new AI-first products. And you can see it more than tripled in just 1 year. This is probably the clearest signal yet that their big AI bet isn't just attracting users, it's also starting to generate some serious cash. But this success is forcing a fundamental change in their whole business model. And this right here, this is the absolute key to understanding Adobe's entire strategy right now. They are intentionally and strategically shifting their focus. It's a classic pivot. You move away from chasing that immediate revenue, and instead you focus on building a massive user base for the future. You gotta play the long game. So here's the trade-off they're making. Historically, Adobe was all about ARR, getting you to subscribe immediately. But now, the priority has shifted to MAU, monthly active users. The new plan is get millions and millions of people, many of them for free, using tools like Firefly and Express. The goal here is to build a gigantic user funnel today, which they believe is going to become their monetization engine tomorrow. But look, a strategic shift this massive is never without its challenges, right? This new focus on getting users in the door first and then figuring out how to get them to pay later, well, it comes with some very real growing pains. So there are really two main challenges. First, by prioritizing all these free users, they're temporarily slowing down paid conversions. And that, of course, puts a little bit of a dent in their short-term revenue growth.
Second, and this part is just fascinating, it's a perfect example of creative destruction, their traditional stock photo business is declining faster than they expected. And why is that? Because their own AI image generation tools are making it obsolete. They are essentially cannibalizing their own business, betting that this new AI-driven revenue will eventually far, far outweigh the old. So, when you put it all together, this is the picture of Adobe today. It is a company standing at a truly historic crossroads. They're managing a once-in-a-generation leadership transition while, at the same time, executing one of the biggest strategic pivots in their entire history towards an AI-first future. So this brings us to the final and most crucial question. Adobe is betting everything on a new leader and a really radical AI-first strategy. Now, they have a strong financial foundation, and they have massive user growth, but they're also navigating a pretty tricky transition in their business model. So the real question isn't just if this monumental bet will pay off, but whether they can convert this massive new audience into a sustainable business before their competitors do. The race is officially on.